My name is Marketa Bila. I am a GD2A student and this is my CA submission for a C++ class called Bugs Life. The only class I'm going to be talking about is board.cpp due to the time limit, and hopefully I'll be able to show you as much of it as possible, as well as the simulation at the end. So let's start. First things first, on the top of the code we can see all these #include, and this will help us to find the file we are looking for and include it in this class. I also wrote using namespace std so I don't keep repeating myself while using CA2. So the first function I'm going to be talking about is called display life history, which will display the bug's path from the beginning till its death. And first we have a for loop to go through the bugs list. Then for each bug, it outputs the bug's ID and dynamically checks what type of bug it is using the dynamic cast, which is basically like it converts the pointer bug into a pointer of the type of bug. So for example, crawler. Then it outputs the path and enters another loop to go through every position in the bug's path, and it prints it out. And it also prints out whether the bug is alive or dead. Another function is called write life history, and for this one I needed some help because I haven't really used time and date before in my projects, like maybe once or twice, so I'm not really familiar with it. So first we need to get the current date and time and format it into string. Then we need to create a file called bugs life history, date time out, and open the file. Then we need a for loop to go through the bugs and get their information. It outputs the path and enters another loop to go through every position that the bug has taken. So basically the same thing as in the previous function. And also outputs whether the bug is alive or not. Then we close the file and display a message to the user that the file has been written to. Another function is called eat, and it makes the two bugs in the same cell fight each other until one of them wins, which is the one bigger in size, and the other one is eaten. So we need a list of bugs in the same cell. Then we go through the board with the two for loops, and before we check for the bugs in the current cell, we need to clear the cell bugs list. Then we have another for loop that goes through the bugs and gets the bugs that are in the same cell and are alive. They will be added to the cell bugs, and if there is more than one bug in the same cell, the fight will begin. So the bugs in the same cell will be sorted according to their size, and the bigger bug wins and is removed from the list. Then it will mark the other one as dead and will get their size. And finally it will add its size to the winner's size and we can clear the list again. Another function is called run simulation, which will run the game automatically and the user doesn't really have to do anything. So first we need to open a file that will write down the simulation's results and have a variable called tabs to let us display the number of rounds. Then we have a while loop that continues until the game is over. Inside the while loop, it counts the number of rounds and displays it to the user. Then it calls the tab function and the display function to display the current state. And lastly, the sleep pauses the simulation for a second so that the player can read the results. Another function that is already mentioned in the previous function is game over, and this one determines whether the game is over or not and what are the conditions. So first we need to set up a variable that will help us count the bugs that are still alive. Then we have a for loop to go through the list of bugs, and if the bug is alive, it will count it. And on the next line we have an if statement that says if there's only one bug alive, it means it's game over. So we have a winner. The last function I'm going to mention is SFML, which I couldn't complete because of an error that I got, and it said failed to set direct input device access mode, one meaning. I looked on the internet and it basically said that I might have some device paired with my computer that is not properly recognized or installed. So I tried to remove all sorts of devices and update them as well, but it still displayed the error. So the last thing I did was I asked my classmates if they could try running my project on their computer, and it worked for them. So I couldn't complete it in the end. Now that's all for the code, and now I will try running all the features including the SFML.